I'm Rosie and welcome back to my channel, the place on the internet where we make collage art. So a few weeks ago I saw this piece on Instagram by Mixed Matter Collage, and when I saw this I was like, this is so cool. It's like 3D, it's got these layers, it's got dimensionality to it, and I was just like, I need to try to make a 3D collage. This is so cool. And so I chatted with Amanda, who is the artist behind that piece and that account, and she told me that she uses these adhesive foam squares. So I picked up some of those and some other foam double-sided tape because I sort of want to experiment with making a 3D collage today. I've never done anything like that. I've never, given height to my collages, but I am really excited because I think that we can make something very cool. I also actually planned a little bit more than I normally do for this video. I normally don't think about like what the composition is going to be, what elements I want to use. I usually just figure it out on the fly. But I wanted to plan because I think the assembly of this piece is going to take a little bit longer. So I wanted to have an idea. And I actually did a sketch. So let's look at that and I can sort of talk you through some of the ideas I had and the composition I'm going for. So I'm thinking we use a circle as sort of the framing device and thing to hold the composition together. And then I was thinking we need a focal point, and I got this bird cage book recently, and I was thinking we could use a bird cage as sort of the centerpiece. And then in the front we could do foliage, like leaves, flowers, branches, that type of thing, to give heft and interest to the front, bottom of the collage, and then do some birds that are sort of like flying away and that are breaking the frame of the circle and the top to give some balance. And I think that that's just enough layers to give us that nice depth without being overly complicated. Although I did flip through this birdcage book yesterday, and I was not super in love with any of these bird cages for this idea, but I think that the idea of this still stands. We should do a circle, some sort of focal point, then something heavier in the front, and then some pieces like flowing away. So I think the composition is still valid. We just might not use a bird cage, although let's look again in a bit. So I looked through a bunch of other books to get some other ideas, and the ideas that I came up with are this camera. I kind of just liked how vintage it was. I thought maybe we could cut the lens out and have stuff coming out of the lens or something. So that was the first idea. Sorry, my desk is a mess with so many books. The next one, I have this book of like vintage ads. I kind of feel like I'm cheating because it's vintage ads, but the book is new anyway. And it has all these old retro TVs in it. And I kind of just liked the idea of maybe using that as the sort of focal point. There's a bunch in here. Maybe we can cut out the screen and have something come out of the screen, something like that. I thought that was maybe a nice center point. What else did I look at? Oh, clocks. I saw a few like clocks like this in this book and another book, and I was like, well, maybe we want to do like a Salvador Dali type like weird melting earth time concept. So that's kind of a weird concept, but I did like these clocks, although I kind of wish they were bigger. That was another idea. What's next? I found this bed from this doll furniture, and I thought that maybe this was cool, and that would be a nice focal point. And then I was thinking, well, actually the bed is kind of a nice idea. So then in this book, I found this lady sleeping, and this was what got me going. And I was like, okay, awesome. What if we create like her sleeping in the center, and then what's surrounding her is her dream. And I love that idea, and I think that this is really cool, and we can do some really awesome stuff with this. So let's flip through this birdcage book again, because maybe something will inspire me on this flip through. I do love the end papers in this book. Like this illustration, oh my God, it's so beautiful. So I'm gonna use those at some point. So I do love the bird cages in this book. I just don't think they're right for this composition. I was thinking something like really simple and bold and gold, and I'm just not seeing that in here, although I do really love the images in here. There's some really cool birdhouses in here. So I am excited to use this book. I just don't think it's right for this piece. So I think that means we're going with our sleeping lady, and I'm really excited. I think that we can do something very cool with her. So I think we should start by first finding a background, and then that might help us decide what colors we want to use and probably even like the size of it. So I think that that's probably the place we should start. Okay, I think we found some really good options and they're all a little bit different. So, okay, we got some moody ones. Like there's this one, which is just really moody. And then, okay, this has like the sun setting, which is also kind of nice. Whoa. There's this one, which is moody, similar colors to this one. A little bit more purple, this one's more red. Oh, there's this one with like, I think these might be fireflies, and I think that these are really cool. I love this, like the little pops of yellow, but it's got blue tones, so it's not purple or red. Oh, this one's a little bit of a wild card. Wow, these are so unorganized. Okay. This one's a little bit of a wild card. It's butterflies, but I thought that maybe that would be fun too. She's like dreaming of that she's a butterfly or something. I don't know. I just kind of liked how textural this is, but maybe it's too busy. I don't know. Oh, then there's this one, which is just like kind of the night sky. And I don't know, looking at the other ones, this one's boring. I mean, maybe it's good that it's boring, but this one is so boring. So I think I might just put it off to the side. And then this one is also pretty moody. So some of these are maybe a little bit too small. The other thing I pulled out from my landscape pile was this mountain range, because I thought that, with some, height to this, she might look cute tucked in behind mountains. So I pulled this out because I love the colors of it. I'm not so much fond of these flowers, but I think we can either not use them or cover them up. So I know I said that we should pick a background because it might help us decide the rest of the composition. Now I'm changing my mind, and I think that we have to think about the rest of the composition before we pick a background, mostly because of the colors. What we pick that might pop off blue might not pop off as much as on this purple. We need to figure out some other things before we decide on a background, but I do think that we've narrowed it down to 5 backgrounds. That's not really narrowing it down, is it? That's still a lot of options. Okay, so let's think about what else we want to do. The other thing I wanted to mention, because we're going to have to do it, I think, for every element in this collage, is we're going to have to mount everything on cardstock so it has that heft, so it's not like flimsily layered on top of each other. It needs the stability of cardstock. So I think I'm going to mount her on cardstock and get her cut out, at least for now. And then while I'm doing that, I can think, and then I'll report back when I have more ideas. So I think we pulled out some really awesome things. Let's just quickly walk through them. So I have this flower because I love the colors of this flower. I also think we can use these leaves for the front piece of the collage. Same with the sunflowers. This will go in the front foliage section. And then these leaves, same thing. I really tried to find huge leaves because I think that will give us like the biggest impact. So there's these. And this one. And then the butterflies, man, that book was incredible. Here are the 2 that I pulled out. I love this one, and I love the yellow and also this red one. These are so beautiful. That book was incredible. And then I pulled out 2 dinosaurs. I really like the idea of having a long-necked dinosaur so he could be like peeking up over her. So that's what I pulled out for those. So I think we have all the elements. I think what we need to start doing now is cutting everything out, and then we'll start arranging a little and then decide on a background. And then I think we will be ready to assemble. I'm very, very excited. Okay, so here's something I kind of just like quickly put together. There's too much happening. That's my initial thought with this. There's just too much happening. We need to pare down. And then it's possible that we either just have the mountains or we just do leaves. So again, I just love the colors of these mountains. That's why I like gravitated towards them. But maybe we like just leaves. I don't know, I feel like I don't like that as much as the mountains. I think we also, like, let's take a look at this other background. I'm jumping all over the place, but it's because I'm not sure. So at this point, I was having a really hard time imagining what the backgrounds were going to look like, ultimately cropped in the circle. So I created a mask. With my circle cutter, I cut a circle out of cardstock, so I could use that to cover the parts of the images that we are eventually going to cut out. So part of me wants to put a butterfly like right in front. Oh man, look how that kind of like fits perfectly like her blanket. I don't know. I also feel like maybe that's a little bit too big, and is it gonna hang off the piece too much? Let's look at some of the other butterflies. I did cut out a few more. Now that I can see how the butterflies are gonna cut the frame, it's making me like this a whole lot more. It's just so hard to see. It's so hard to see in your mind when you're not sure. Also, I love these butterflies all have like some kind of trippy patterns in them, which I kind of love. Now, okay, let me stop for a second because I think everything that was happening before, I had like too much. It was like a really overwhelming amount of things, and I think that was part of the problem why it wasn't reading very well. So there were just too many things. Right now, I feel like is a good amount of things, actually. I feel like we could stop right now, but I think we need to look at a different background. Oh my goodness. I think I maybe like this one because it has some texture to it, but it's not overwhelming. It's a deep color, but also has light points. I think the next step we need to do is glue all of these things to cardstock and cut them out again. And then we need to play with the heights. And that's what I'm most excited for, is to actually see how this is coming together with the different heights. Okay, after just a little bit of struggling, I got these 2 circles cut out, and I think that they're looking pretty good. I'm having a little bit of warping with my glue here, but I think that's okay. If I wasn't trying to do this all in one day, I'd probably flatten out, I'd probably leave them under a book for a little bit. but I don't have time for that. Oh my God, this is gonna look so cool. I'm so excited. Okay, it's finally time to bust out these adhesive foam things, and it's time to get some dimension. Okay, there's two different types of squares in this. There's big ones and small ones. I think that I want big ones for the mountain and maybe this dude, but I'm gonna need little ones for the little guys, probably. Okay, so I've been thinking about this for a little bit, and this butterfly moth, I love him, but he's just too big. Like, this is really cool, the bed with the mountains in front, and then I'm covering it all up with this huge, oh my God, I'm covering it up with it's just way too big, and I like feel like it's got this is really cool, and then I'm covering it all up. And I didn't feel that way for some reason until now. So I think that we just need to leave that one out and maybe go back and take one of the other butterflies, moths that we had cut out. I had a bunch of extra ones. I put them away because I did clean up, so I need to go get them back out. Okay, we're doing some drastic last minute changes here because that giant moth that was down here was just too big. It was too much. It was taking up too much real estate. So I moved some things around and got one more moth. And I think the balance of the bigger one being over there and there's less happening down here, that I think is all very good. But then I do think that there's some empty space here. So I got a pair of mushrooms that I think is gonna look so cute right there. So I think the only thing that's left to do is to tack all of these down and decide how tall they want to be. Like, do I want one of these? Do I want to just have this guy be on flat and not raised up at all? Maybe, but I do think I want these two raised up, at least one. So I'm gonna do that. I think yep, that's it. Okay. Wow, wait, we're done. Oh my God, I'm kind of surprised that we're done. I feel like I've made so many twists and turns in this episode. This isn't a TV show. This is so cool though. Oh my goodness. Man, this whole 3D thing really ups the game for collages for me. Like, I have so many more possibilities now. The stuff you can do with this is so neat. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you have any interest at all in trying 3D collage, I recommend it. It's a different challenge, but it is really cool. The end result is just it's like one step elevated from a normal collage. Oh my God, it's so cool. So let me know if you give it a try. I'm really kind of curious. And if you have done this before, let me know if you have any tips or tricks, but wow, that is so cool. I'm so happy with how it turned out. Wow. So hope that you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you next Thursday for another collage video. Bye.